Welcome to part 2 of creating unique animals using the program Pixlr. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to open the photo editor. In this case, I have already selected 2 images that I want to put together. So I'm going to say Open Image from Computer. I'm going to select one of the images, which is the great white heron, and the second image is going to be bird 3. So I'll go ahead and hold down the control key to get both those images and say Open. So, as mentioned earlier in part 1, if I wanted to put the great white heron on this bird, I would need to resize this bird first, because you can see this image is much smaller. So what's going to happen is I'll take that image and I'll have to stretch it on this image, and I don't want to do that. But in this case, I actually want to put this bird on the heron. So I'm going to take the lasso tool and I'm going to make a selection of its head. So I'll come in and I'm going to do a rough selection outside of this beautiful bird. And you can see I'm not doing a very good job, but I will use the eraser tool to clean that up. So with that selected, I can choose Edit Copy, come over to this layer and do Edit Paste. Now obviously I want to rotate that head, I want to flip it. So on that layer of that bird, I'm going to go to Layer and I'm going to choose Flip Horizontal. And now if I do Control T, I can transform it. I will hold the Shift key and I will drag from a corner towards the center to make it roughly the same size. When you like what you've changed, you hit the Enter key. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the Move tool in the Tools window to move the head. I'm going to go ahead and clean up around the bird. So I will zoom in so you can see what's going on. I will hold the spacebar of the keyboard to move the canvas so you can see what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and take the eraser tool, and you can change the brush at the top of the page. I do want soft edges. I'll try 100. I could always go back if I need to. So notice I went too much in, so I'll do Control Z or Edit Undo, and maybe I'll make that brush a little smaller. You do have to experiment. I'm also going to zoom in because I want to get a really close up. So I'm going to start cleaning up around the bird so it's nice and clean. As I get closer in here, you can see the brush is going to be too big, so I'm going to have to go and revisit the smaller brush and come in and keep cleaning this up. If you make a mistake, just do Control Z or Edit Undo. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep cleaning this up, changing the brush size accordingly until it's all nice and clean, holding the spacebar to move the image. So I think it's all cleaned up. I'm going to choose View Actual Pixels so I can see what's going on. It's looking really good at this time. Now I'm going to also take the brush and I'm going to choose a nice feathery one that's large, and I'm going to come and barely brush up against the end of the bird's neck so it looks like it blends naturally. And we can always revisit that later if we need to. Now I'm going to go to the background layer. As you can see, we need to get rid of the heron's head. So there's a couple ways you can do that. I am going to use what's called the stamp tool. So let me go ahead and zoom in so you can see what's going on. And I'm going to click on the stamp tool. With the stamp tool selected, you might want to change the brush. So I'll go ahead and leave it at 50. I can always change it later. And what you want to do is you want to hold down the Control key of your keyboard. And notice this little object here. When I click down, it picks up the color of that blue background and you start painting with it. You might have to click a lot, until you get it right. So whatever it's scrolling over, it's going to pick up that color and replace. You're going to click a lot and keep repainting. And this one takes some time to get used to. So you can see I'm getting rid of that beak, which is what you want to do. Now if this were not a solid blue color like this, it wouldn't be coming out this good. So if it was like a forest, it would be really difficult. So until you master this tool, it's going to be difficult to do. So I'm going to go ahead and continue getting rid of this beak. Let's go ahead and view actual pixels so you can see what's going on. So you can see I'm getting rid of that bird. Now I'm getting close into the background layer, and you want to be really careful because if you take the stamp tool, you can really get sloppy. I'll hold the Control key. See how I'm replacing that bird's body? So I'm going to do Control Z. I'm going to, on the background layer, take the lasso tool and I'm going to select this just a little bit, and I'm going to do Control C, Control V, which is copy and paste. And I'll go ahead and line that up. And I'm going to go on the background layer. So now I have that second layer. Now watch when I use the stamp tool and I click down with the Control key. I'm not affecting the shoulder of the bird. You have to be a little creative sometimes with how you handle these unique situations. Let's go ahead and zoom out, go to View Actual Pixels. So you can see that looks actually pretty decent. I might clean it up some more in here and return in a few. That is now nice and cleaned up. But you notice the bird's head doesn't really match the body of the heron. So make sure you're on the bird heads layer. Let's check it. If you click off in the layers window, you can tell what layer you're on. Alright, so what I want to do on that layer is I can go to the adjustments, and this is where you can change the colors. So maybe I might visit the color balance and I can experiment until it looks like it's going to blend in a little more. Now if it's too majorly different, now that looks a little more yellow, but it doesn't look real natural. So what you could do is you could, if you're really ready to save your image and you're happy with what you've done, you could choose Layer, Flatten Image, and now what you can do is you can go to Adjustments and you could experiment with the desaturate so it blends in a little more that way. I'm going to do Control Z and visit some of the others. How about Sepia? So that has an interesting look. So those are things that you could do to mask the imperfections of the color. Let me go ahead and choose something that I'm going to like. Look at Old Photo. So that makes it look a little more natural. So let me come up with something that I like, and I'll be right back. I decided to choose Adjustments and then Desaturate. Now that I'm happy, I'm going to go File, Save. I'm going to save it as a JPEG. I'll take it to 100%, and then I'll go ahead and save it in a safe location on my computer. Until next time, you have a fabulous day.